Elections 2019 on Manawatū People's Radio. Te reo irirangi o ngā tāngata o Manawatū.
Thank you, Fraser. Another popular question from readers and listeners was about climate change, and many of you have touched on this already, but do you support the declaration of a climate change emergency? What actions can the Council take to combat climate change, and do you have timelines surrounding these?
We don't need to declare a climate emergency because we're already doing some work in that space, and some good work. CMARS have done an audit on council. 17% we've lessened our carbon footprint in our city. Yes, it's low-hanging fruit, and I think Councillor Barrett made the comment in his address that we need to keep doing more year after year after year, and that is right. Council needs to have a lens over everything it does around sustainability, and if I'm elected mayor, I will look at an environment committee that has a real focus on this issue, because it is real, but we need to take everybody with us in an affordable way. Thank you.
I support declaring a climate emergency. The people that I've spoken to, for example, Professor James Renwick and a whole lot of other folks have talked about the things that we need to do to organise ourselves akin to what we did in World War II when we restructured our economy. It can happen really, really quickly if the political will is there, or it can happen very, very slowly and too late if we do what we're doing. And so for me, in terms of all this other kind of stuff, I think it's really important that there are three things in there. There's a plan, first of all. There's targets in there, and we measure those targets, and then we go back again. Plan, target, measure, plan, target, measure, basic stuff. So as I was saying earlier, I would set a goal for Palmerston North City Council of making Palmerston North carbon neutral by 2040, with the interim goal of making Palmerston North City Council carbon neutral by 2030. Mitigation, adaptation, the whole lot.
I would sort of endorse what's been said already. What we need to do is to make sure that we're in step with the plan that the Labour government has for us as a nation, that we make sure that we educate at every step so that council policy follows through on these things, and we take people with us, we engage, and whenever possible we use evidence that makes sure that what we're doing is the best possible way forwards to try and mitigate the damage that we're doing and we have done.
Climate change is a real thing, and we don't take it like a slogan to gain the vote. It's a real problem we have to address. And in 1992, I was lucky, young. I went to Rio de Janeiro in the first summit of climate change. It's not only local issue, but it's international. We can do here in Palmerston North, but in some stage, we have to involve everyone. It's a serious matter. But if we start in Palmerston North, we're gonna lead the world to change their mentality, to change their manners. I hear somebody is even in this room. He said that education, we started by seat belt. The person is here listening to me. We start by seat belt, by saying to people, put your seat belt, put your seat belt. Now it's effective. So we need to address this as educational things, and then we will reach, and I say it's possible for us to reach this goal and then be good. Thank you.
One of my responsibilities is to make sure that landfill is not being filled with all those signs that has been out there. So I decided to get something practical, which means getting the signs that our property brokers has, and then I wanted to paint it. So that was my responsibility as a climate. I go with the climate change. I'm concerned about with the inflow and the outflow of our water as well our food and any materials that cannot get in. That's my concern. And so making sure that the inflows and outflows of it, there's no congestion. What we need is the climate change, and I agree with everybody here, with even that 17% that Grant Smith was talking about. I think we are in the right channel. But congestion, please, let's get that addressed and making sure that we have the inflow and outflow of all materials, raw materials coming into our city.
If we amalgamate horizons in the City Council together, we get a thing called a unitary authority, then we're much easier able to manage temporary consents and do stuff tomorrow like that, boom, hello, rather than wasting all your time on with lawyers that work for both firms that are the same lawyer, except so they just get fleeced by lawyers. So you can actually just go and get the job. It's pretty simple. I mean, you know, I manage huge amounts of effluent on land. You know, my family manage huge amounts of effluent upon land, and the way we do it is pretty cheap, and it's not that it's just corruption and lawlessness. It's again, you know, follow God.
Thank you, everyone, for that.